Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome back to Explain 11. Back in another premiere, yes, means we're flying the real world again, and this time, I'm flying what, in my opinion, is one of the most adorable aircraft they've produced. The Boeing 737-600 in Tunisair colours on the flights from here in Lyon-Saint Exupéry, so we flew to yesterday with British Airways to Djerba Zarzis in Tunisia. Very excited for this trip. There's so much going to happen on this one. I'll talk about it during the flight itself, so... Yes, 736, the smallest of the Boeing 777NG family. I mean, I've been on the 700, I've been on the 800, sadly not yet a 900, that one got moved around. But yes, I've been very, very excited for the trip since I booked it, because, one, I've never been out of Europe before, so I'm going to North Africa, and, of course, the 736, the smallest of the 73NGs, it's such a tiny, tiny little plane, this. So jump cockpit, set the aircraft up, and prepare ourselves for our journey today. Like I say, I'm buzzing, I'm on this airplane in real life, so for those of you who don't know much about this channel or don't necessarily watch all these premieres, whenever there is a premiere on this channel, that means that I am on a flight in real life, and what I'm doing at the moment is I'm recreating that flight in real life within Flight Sim, trying to get this as kind of accurate as possible, so there could be some different variations of the routes, different variations of the journey, but you will be able to track me on Flight Radar 24 from here in Lyon to Djerba. Jump cockpit, let's set our airplane up. This airplane will have just flown in from Djerba this morning, so it departs from Djerba at 6 in the morning, lands here about 10 o'clock, does a turnaround, and then departs again in about 20-30 minutes. So we'll set the aircraft up from a turnaround state and prepare ourselves for departure. Overhead panels pretty much all set up as you require it, so we have got the electric systems all active, actually all active. Lighting is set as required to get our taxi to stand. Already on the ground power, nothing for us to set up on there. Overhead panel is all complete. What I can do is I can set up the, well, I was actually set up on tablet wise because this is not necessarily linked up to SimBrief, so all you've got to do, jump down to the FMS and plug it all in from there. Can also make use of SAM if we need to, so SAM 3 interface brings up all of our flight stats information, so passing from Lyon TU589 to Djerba, runway 27 is, sorry, runway 5 left in use on departure, right runway 27. Finish on 008 stands Juliet 37, context 54, all that stuff. Costs next, I'll quickly do a quick Google search for, I'll make sure I use the correct CI for Tunisair. So, Lima Foxtrot Lima Lima to Delta Tango Tango Juliet. Call sign on that will be Tango Alpha Romeo 589. Go to the next page. Before we plug in our routing, we shall get the passengers boarding, so we'll do that both on PACX. So, Lima Foxtrot Lima to Tango Juliet, TU589, 19,000 feet initial climb. I believe we're doing too much high cruise, which is level 390, so select 390 for the cruising altitude. Flight time 2 hours and 5 minutes. Departure in approximately, so departure is actually at 20 past 10 local time, so we're departing in 16 minutes. We only have 12 passengers on board. Yes, 12 passengers. Just to confirm on SimBrief, we have only got. Whoops, go away. We only have a PAX count of 12. In reality, I think this aircraft only has like, well, at the time of this video recording, only 3 passengers have booked on this flight. Myself and 2 others. So it's a very, very quiet flight today. Aircraft has no Wi-Fi, no entertainment. Next page. We don't have boarding music. We get safety briefing for Tunisair. We do get snacks and meals, so Tunisair do provide meal service during their flights, something we'll be enjoying in real life. And a customs card not required, there is no visa requirement from France into Tunisia. Right, start the boarding process, let's get this flight boarding. Let's say we've got 20 minutes till departure, so we need a bit of catch up to do. Starting our first waypoint of Lookham. We fly the Tango 43 to Bepa. Uniform Mike 728 to Colon. Uniform Mike 623 to Pelos. If I direct to IPROM, what I do like the Boeing of the Airbus is that you can go direct through the route plan, nothing you have to insert and then go the long way around. IPROM directs to Lunan,
exit seating responsibilities in the
Then
car
it's directed
in the
to
seat back in
Osmar.
front of you. If you're not able to comply with these actions, please let a flight
Let's have a
attendant
look.
know so that way we can be
Osmar is
Feel free to use your
the
cell phone
North
during the
38
rest of the
East
boarding
9.
process, but we do
That
ask
one.
that laptops, tablets, and any other larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate.
Uniform Alpha
And welcome
725.
aboard. We are ready to go when you are.
Then camera crew, very swift boarding. So before I forget, make sure that the weight's actually loading the aircraft as well. So I go to pre-flight, start the flight. Nope, sorry.
Good
Go
morning,
back.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 589.
There's no ground
Our flight time
service
will be
configuration for this
roughly
aircraft.
2
We did not
hours.
actually
Stand 5 minutes.
load the fuel and everything.
Please
If not,
note
do it from the
that doors
tablet,
now
which is,
closed.
I
We
guess,
ask that
the other way
you
around.
ensure that all devices in your airplane
Okay,
mode
Uniform
and your larger
725
devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not
to
already, please fasten
Tuck.
your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. The
Go over to this quickly. So ground services, set the chocks.
For departure. Flight attendants, please
Right, you have
prepare
GP
to
connected.
departure.
Fair enough. Right, extend the air stairs. No, thank you. I don't think she have SS an aircraft, but no ground service configuration from Sam. I'll probably actually bring back what's it called? Jar ground handling, because that I guess can fit in when there's no other ground services available. That's not what I wanted. I'll go to weight fuel balance. Go to payload. Right, total fuel today on board. We need 7203, so say 7250. There you go, I was overfueled. Fair enough. Payload on board today. Total payload is okay, 1.3. Shows how light this airplane is going to be today. Going to be like a rocket. We're well within takeoff weights. Landing, oh, we'll be floating down the runway. Yeah, like I say, just shows what position this aircraft's in. Right, from Tuck, we then fly uniform Mike 731 to Juliet Bravo Alpha to Djerba. And that's the end of our flight plan. So, like I say, detecting runway 35 left departure on the Luckman 2 November SID. No start on arrival, so we find direct into runway 27. Let's do our 048 and center gravity, but from the aircraft, reserve fuel on board today, so if we can look at the maths. So it's 1489 plus 833. Carry the 1. So that's 2, 4. Carry the 1, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. 2, 2, 4, 2 with the backwards. Right, so 2.242. Cost index, we have that off of Google. Tunisair cost index. Tunisair 736 cost index 13. So using 13. And cruising altitude 390. We have our cruising winds, so if we scroll down to the wind information, top climb, too low for us, too low for us. The best we can do is that one, so it's 159 at 12 knots, sorry 195 at 12 knots. Let's keep that. Get a charts of departure. So I grab the airport charts, grab the SIDS charts. It's Lockham to November. To Sierra, to November, perfect, that one. So that's our SID, that's our taxi. It's fine. So transition 5,000 feet. And our departure, so it's just head down to the south to depart to make a right hand turn, and then it's straight heading south towards our first waypoint. Cool. So head over to our departure index. Runway 35 left. Lucken to November. Execute that. Head over to the N1 limits. Now, for such a light aircraft, we're going to use the lowest for the fuel for the departure. So, derate the engines to a maximum amount, and then use the lowest. Actually, pretty good for high climb. Tell you what, low derate, high climb performance, because, like I say, we're so light at the moment. There's really nothing for us to worry about. 5 degrees of flaps, centre of gravity will pull, and then our V1's 107, rotate 108, and V2 117. So trim 525. And we'll set 108 on the IS Mac using the old Collins autopilot system today, so using the old Collins rather than Honeywell, which shows you the age of this aircraft flying today. Right, so in case we need to return back to the airfield, set up the IS runway 35 left, it's Lyon, so it's 354. Oops, wrong one. 354. Heading 354 and 354. And the frequency 11075. Nice and simple. Right, what else I need to get doing with? I need to set the altitude. So initial climb will be 6,000 feet. That's all looking grand. Aircraft's been fueled up, so we can start the APU. Tiny little aircraft, this. Absolutely tiny. I mean, I've been on an A318. The A318 I took from Amsterdam Schiphol to Paris Charles de Gaulle. That was quite an adventure, but as goes on, I like my Boeings. I'm more of a Boeing person, so to fly the smallest of the NGs, it's quite the experience for us today. Maximum capacity of 112, I think this aircraft has. Well, it depends on what cabin and interior you go for. Yeah, it's definitely it's quite the aircraft. Quite the aircraft. The average takeoff brakes between nav and nav from the stand, if everything's configured correctly, which it is. Flight directors are active. APU is starting. Listen to the ATIS here at Lyon.
Winds 340. Temperature 15 degrees Celsius. Dew point broken layer at 26,000 feet. 9 degrees Celsius. Visibility 10 kilometers. Altimeter 1005. Few clouds at 2,000 feet. Variable 280 to 010. Winds.
Cool, no seat states, so no one for us to contact initially, which was just requested on both sides. Quick check on the website. There was a departure a couple of minutes ago out of Lyon, but in our case, yeah, so we're the only aircraft ready to go at the moment. Back over to Geneva. Geneva beating up a little bit to our east. So, at this point, we will activate the APU generators, APU bleeds, and kill the ground power. We've got some line. There's no fuel in the centre tank, I don't think. Not on this occasion, so that's fine. Going to head to ground services, disconnect the GPU, remove the shock, now that we're on parking brake, that's fine. And yeah, at this point, passengers boarded in our nice and sparse cabin. Very sparse. Look at how short this thing is. You can't even scroll. So tiny. Yeah, now that we're pretty much boarded, ready to go, let's get ourselves ready. So we're going to activate the anti-collision lights, I think it is. That ground cadet engine startup, which it is. Quick announce on Unicom our planned departure. So runway 35 left. We'll greet the passengers as well. I haven't said hello to them yet, so we'll do that. Our planned route to taxi. So we'll push back on to that now. So push back on to Julie. Push back on Tango Juliet, taxi down Tango holding Alpha 9, so a very short taxi for us today. So Tango Juliet, onto Tango holding Alpha 9. Let's stand, was it J35, was it? 37, J37. So now our intentional mission starts. We've done our pre-flights, that's all loaded. Head over to our departure, push back, starts.
Run to cockpit, tow is driving up.
I'll set altitude to 390, perfect. Here comes our pushback tug. Thank you for crashing into the building there. It should be a great gun flight, like I say. It's only a 2 hours and 5 minutes of actual air time-ish. Give or take a few minutes. (737) it's actually more nimble than the 738, 739 I've done in the stream before, but certainly we'll see about the climb performance. Like I say, it's going to be quite the pocket rocket. This you've got standard CFM basics the engines, so same engines as your 738s and 9s, biggest of the variants, but a far shorter body.
The latches are closed, ready to connect.
So give the pushback on connect. We've got another 3 minutes to expected departure, so we're actually doing alright for time at the moment. So by the time we rotate, it'll be pretty much bang on the clock there. Make sure the backup bomb's also set as well, so 1005. Thank you. Nose is lifted.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
So the aircraft now starts to push back. Give us a moment to clear ourselves from the perimeter of the ground services. Engine to ground. Yeah, it reminds me, seatbelts. Whoops. So Modesty N2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen to an important safety demonstration.
And that hits 24. Start the fuel flow. Watch the exhaust temperature as it increases, and one will start to increase. Cool, engine 2 stabilising, start switch resets, engine 1 to ground. That's the N2. And fuel flow, we can start. Yeah, watching the exhaust temperature, make sure to hit into the red zone. If we do that, the engine overheats. Shut them down. Yeah, all looking good. Aircraft should start without any problems. Thank you very much. Perfect. Engines 1 and 2 are active. Switch the generators over to the engines. APU bleed off and APU off. A little bit offset on the taxiway, but that's just better pushback for these days. Not quite as accurate as it used to be. He's going to try and actually correct himself, but don't think it'll be enough. No, not quite enough on this occasion. One day I get there pushback.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake sets.
Disconnecting tow, standby.
And then I think it will go as far as lowering the nose, but it won't actually then disconnect from the aeroplane, so I'll just have to press the terminate button. I'll just spam these two, and eventually the tug will just drive away. There's one issue with the better pushback. isn't quite work as it used to. Again, I'd love to see an update for it. Alright, quick check flight control, starts with the elevators, the ailerons, and the rudder. Thank you very much. Load flaps down to 5 degrees, back to engine page. Force the move away, there we go, thank you very much. Right, so at this point we can now activate the PACX, pressurise the aircraft, it doesn't actually hit the ground, so no air conditioning, sorry passengers, pretty nice and warm in there.
Door is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed.
It's only about 18 degrees in the cabin, it's not too
We'll see
cold.
you next time and have a set plate.
Make it a little bit colder if we need to. Right, does disconnect, thank you very much. Next light's active. And let us taxi to the runway. So brake released. Open hand signal. Now to our taxi intentions. Thank you very much. So we're on a hill right now. We're rolling backwards slightly. Right, increase throttle. Let's taxi to the runway. It's going to be a short little taxi today. Runway's only in front of us here at Lyon. Interesting, the nose altimeter didn't quite steer us there. Still got to the aircraft, just for some reason it all turns to the right. I've got on the rudder now. What's going on there? Why can I not turn? Let me just check my hardware controls 2 seconds. Big gear, go to hardware. There we go. Not quite sure what happened there, just for some reason those wouldn't want to you want to turn. That's much better now, I can see. Actually making a right hand turn.
We're prepared for takeoff.
Thank you, cabin. So just taxiing it down Tango now. Alpha 9 is the insects just immediately to our left hand side. Like I say, I'm expecting crazy climb performance out of our 737. We've got no weight at all. Powerful engines for such a small body. This thing's gonna, well, it's like I say, it's gonna be, this is gonna be a pocket rocket takeoff. There is no weight and full power. Even with our thrusts derated to the minimum performance takeoff, still gonna fly down this runway. And then lights set. Cancel our takeoff intentions. Cabin crew, please be seated for departure. Transponder on. Cabin crew, please be seated for departure. Let's get out of here, shall we? The auto throttle. All the engines. 1 and 2 stable. Takeoff. Make sure you're actually at a correct speed. 80 knots. V1 rotates.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
There we go. Follow the flight director. Keep it on climb. So with the throttle there, as I move the manual
1000.
throttle, 1000, as I move the manual throttle, just landing it, it's turn off the auto throttle, and turn off the auto throttle, so deactivates the N1 there, so it's just basically activated the N1 again, and now the throttle's derate itself on its own. Resets the brakes. At this point, hand aircraft to your pilots, and let them control the aircrafts. Such a joy at the 736. No winglets, shortest wingspan, shortest body. In fact, say shortest wingspan, the wings are longer than the airplane itself. I don't think they use different tails in the 736. I know that the A318 by Airbus, they use a, that's one. They use a specialist tail from the A318 that's slightly taller for the sake of stability in the air. I think Boeing on the 736 just used the standard tail from the normal NG family. But it still just looks massive, all these wings on the tiniest of shells. That's up. 5,000 feet, stand out into sets. And reset the altitude to cruising level 390. Resets the VNav. Should have the aircraft just continue its climbing out now. Thank you very much. Perfect. Passing through 8,000 feet, it's level 80. I was holding 250 knots below 10,000. Forget what's next in the chrono. Try to have that activated from the start. So I climb out and very shortly passing 10,000 with top landing lights. And soon after that, get passengers through around the cabin again. So it's not too far. It's pretty much straight line path anyway into flight. It's got a little bit of deviation over Corsica to the east. We'll go through flight plan detail in a minute. And lights off. Turn off the continuous on the engines.
Gentlemen, we have now passed the
And there you have it.
turn off larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to
So, as for our flight plan today, we depart to the south of Lyon, cut to the east over Monaco, then fly over Corsica. Yeah, it's Corsica, is it? Sardinia, sorry. That's Corsica, that's Sardinia. Fly over Sardinia. From Sardinia over Tunis, where we're going to later on in this trip. Actually, on well, tonight I'm flying to Tunis from Djerba on an ATR. Don't know if I get a video of that one or not, because I'm struggling to find an ATR that works properly and is worth doing, so I'll get back to you on that one. But over Tunis, continuing south over Tunisia, and then landing at home at Souk, Djerba, Zarzis and Djerba Island. Oh, not on my screenshots. What a shame. It's right again. Yeah, so like I say, quite a few exciting parts of this trip. The 736 being one of the big highlights. Our return flight on Saturday, flying with LevelUp, so I've never heard of it before, but, well, we're flying now. And, yeah, just overall, some pretty exciting stuff on the way. As for our 736, it's performing, admirably at the moment, it's absolutely fine. There's the app behind us. But honestly, it's the size of the aeroplane that really stands out for me. Such an adorable little thing. No winglets, just a plain old 20-year-old 736. So I don't actually know Takeoff this flight yet because it's not been scheduled on the old flight radar. This flight is going to be sort of 5 miles easier. So yeah, I don't think there's an aircraft actually specifically scheduled yet for this. It's a 736, but that's about it. Last aircraft on this route was India Oscar Kilo. And on time. Yeah, in terms of the fleet that Tunisair operates, and it's a mixed fleet at the moment, so they operate 2 A319s, they operate 8 A320s, they've got 2 A330s, and they just throw in for fun 2 737-600s. I believe 600s are set to be retired at some point in the next couple of years, in the process of just, well, they had a fairly heavy Boeing fleets. They had Boeing 737, 747 at one point, the SR short range version. Had a Tunisair in the past as well, had an MD-80 as well. But these days they're opting for more of an Airbus fleet to Tunisair. But the 736, due to its, well, minute capacity, has just about to survive on a little bit longer until they can get themselves an aircraft essentially of this kind of calibre, but more modern. So you never know, they might find themselves an A318 for a fleet commonality, or they may just stick to like an A220. But we'll see. At the moment, 736 still going strong at Tunisair. The average age of their 736 fleet at the moment, so they have 2 in operation, 1 in storage. Their newest, May 2000. Their oldest, May 1999. So actually, if I'm on India Oscar Kilo, I don't know his name was Mike. Actually, he's been retired. Maybe not fleet anymore. Whoops. So is Romeo, which the other delivery had. Yeah, so the oldest aircraft in their fleet, this one, delivery date 25th of May 1999, I would have been 16 days old, because I was born on the 9th of May 99, so I was 16 days old when Tunisair got delivery of Oscar Kilo. I'm actually quite hoping it's this aeroplane now. To say actually when it was constructed, so the delivery date was 25th of May, construction a bit before then. There you go, first test flight was 23rd of April 99, so they've had it the whole time as well. They've had this aeroplane in its fleet the entire time. Not delivered it, not anywhere else, 23 years old. Yeah, fair play. I mean, all the aircraft out there is also like, built the same day I was born. Which aircraft test flights on the 9th of May 99? Passing through 24,000 feet, flight 7240. Clouds have slightly changed a bit, but for us at the moment, it's nothing to really worry about. Give a seatbelt sign, give passengers freedoms back. And while we're here, let's go through the itinerary, let's see who's on board these flights. Again, not really, not very many people on board on board our plane today. I'll grab the confirmation email, I'll give you the seat one as well. So I have booked a seat for this flight, it's like €5 on top of the price, which isn't too bad. So at the moment there's 2 passengers booked at the very front of the aeroplane, and then there's myself on seat number... What's that? Well, that was that one, which has the booking... There we go, right, so I'm on seat 17A, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is my seat here, this is where I'm sitting on this flight today. Towards back of the aeroplane, 3 is behind me. I think actually there's no first class on Tunisair, so there's actually extra row seats here anyway, so there's 4 rows behind me. But that's my seats, looking at the left hand side, so I should expect a view of that. Expect a view of Sardinia and Corsica, possibly the coast of Italy, and then kind of looking at the Mediterranean Sea for the rest of the trip. Like I say, it's exciting. I was hoping for this to be the last 737 family I would have flown, so I have been on the... So I've been on 737-800 on several occasions, over 50 flights on the 738. I've done 1 flight in the 737-700 with jet time from Helsinki, Volanta to London Gatwick Airport. Originally was scheduled as a Norwegian Air flight, but because of the fleet issue consent of MAX at the time, they were at least a lot of jet time aircraft, and so it was jet time 737-800 I myself on. I was booked for a 900 on KLM, so when I went to Amsterdam Schiphol with KLM, I was supposed to be on a 737-900, but due to passenger capability and capacity, they downgraded to an 800. It was a shame, but it happens. Although my other downgrade from the C Series 300 to 100, that was a downgrade I did appreciate, so it was even smaller aircraft then. But yes, on the 777-600, smallest of the fleets, and should have to fly KLM at some point in the near future. I myself that 900. So overall, should be a pretty good trip this. That's what I've got planned. Nothing much planned. I'm still waiting for an email back from the Tunisian bus company. So I'm hoping to try and plan a trip down to Zur, try and do a tour of some Star Wars sets. At the moment, the plan is I'll fly one way. Sorry, I'll take the bus one way, so take the night bus there, spend a day, and then take a flight back. Problem is, I don't actually know if the bus is running or not. I'm not getting anything back from the company, so I'm probably going to do instead is I'm going to book a return flight from Tunis to Zur. So I have to stay the night. I don't really want to stay the night, but if I've got to stay the night, I've got to stay the night. I actually want to do a Star Wars tour down in the south as well, so that's what I've got in mind. This aircraft is ahead of us. As above, that is I spotted it on the map earlier. There it's KLM 738 going into Barcelona from Marseille. We're going to talk to Marseille Control in a minute. So I'll just go very shortly. Just confirm our course sign, Tunisair. I believe it's just Tunisair. Tunair, sorry, Tunair. Société Tunisienne de l'Air, or Tunisair. There you go, that's their full name. Société Tunisienne de l'Air. I think French is one of the... Tunisia is a mix of Arabic and French, so you get quite a bit of a mix between the two languages. She don't speak, well, I can speak like 3 words of French. Arabic, I'm afraid, not really much. Right, so let me get myself ready on frequency. 126, decimal 155. 126, 155.
KLM 737 directed BabyBus.
Roger, KLM 737 direct to BabyBus.
Good morning, Marseille Control. This is Tunair 589 at level 360390, inbound. Retina.
Tunair 589 Marseille Control, good day, sir. Radar contact, Squawk 1000.
Squawk 1000, Tunair 589. That's very hard. Squawk 1000, essentially just giving it to us for the sake of, well, radar contacts, but no clearance for the initial departure. That's my understanding of it. About 2,000 feet from cruise now, 2,000 from 390. Keep an eye open. We actually, well, we may or may not see the KLM. Unlikely to be fair, given the distance, but it's not impossible. I remember flying the X-plane flights the other day with the A220. Trying to look for the traffic on the left-hand side, couldn't find it, and so it was pretty much on top of us. Yeah, that's just more explains loading object distance, surrender there, LOD LOD. It's about 30 miles to our right hand side.
Tunisair 589er, direct Takeoff. Papa Echo Lima Oscar Sierra.
Direct Pelos for Tunisair 589. So direct to Pelos. It'll jump for us there, which is quite a nice one for us. Let's keep that. I know got sufficient fuel, that's just more the aircraft's going to reach, well, you see, so riding with 2.7 tons of fuel.
Drawyah 210, montée niveau 300.
So it's kind of, I guess, borderline the excess fuel, but 2.7 reserve should be okay. That's got the Alps allowance as well, so I'm going to Swiss Alps. I've got those slightly to the back a little bit, so great. So cruising level now, 39,000 feet level 390, cruising Mach 27.3. Time remaining about an hour and 40 minutes on the clock, got an hour 43, going to next arrival, 10:41 local time right now. Should be arriving at 12:39 Zulu. So yeah, about an hour and 50 according to the
Total 5 kilo 80 switching
yes.
command to the simulator.
Let's go through the cabin as well. Let's see who's on board our flight. Who's on our flight? Getting such a sorry, you can't even scroll the passenger list. It's just that empty. So you got Gerald, Arthur, Andreas, Lawrence. In fact, let's go through them all. So Gerald's a 7-year-old traveling for leisure. Arthur, 12-year-old for leisure. Andreas, 24-year-old for business. Lawrence, 40 for leisure. Tanya, 40 for leisure. You can see this is going to be a leisure flight. Evelyn, 24 for business. Alice, 44 for leisure. David, 28 for leisure. Norbert, 32 for business. Rani, 9 for leisure. Ayman, 25 for leisure, and Yvette, 38 for business. So there's our passengers on board today. All sporadically dotted around the cabin. A few, again, I don't know why I've got a 12-year-old sitting on their own at the moment. 7-year-olds for someone, and there's the other one, 9-year-old on their own in first class apparently, fair enough. I will say, one thing that PACX needs to do at some point, FS Passenger did it perfectly, is they'd have families, so you'd have people with the same surnames and ages, but they sit them together in the, well, it's actually more like a list rather than seating, but essentially you've got 7-year-olds, surname Rodriguez, no other Rodriguez in the aircraft. Fair enough, there are reasons for that, but it'd be nice to kind of get families groups together. I'll actually put that down as a suggestion, see if they can try and implement it, but other than that, say PACX, very good add-on for the passenger simulation. Right, next drink service going through the cabin. That's a bit of food going through the aeroplane.
In a few moments, our lovely
I will say, Tunisair, quite well, an interesting airline in terms of its setup. So it's owned by the Tunisian government, but they've always had a bit of a mixed kind of response from flights. However, Josh Cahill, he's a flight vlogger who I watch from time to time. Trust me, I've absolutely watched his stuff for flying Tunisair. They've got mixed reactions. They're not, I guess, the highest class airline. They're not a terrible airline by any means, but say watching Josh's stuff, they can be can have quite the moments. But say I'll go with an open mind. I'm excited. I think interior's not quite as rocket as this is just default LevelUp interior. But yeah, so I'll go with an open mind. I'm quite excited, even just for the aircraft itself. The 736 is going to be quite the adventure on its own. But to be fair, based on Josh's feedback, Tunisair themselves have actually kind of improved a lot as well. So they've given the aircraft a bit of a makeover, a bit of a clean, improved some of the service on their flights as well. And no, fair play to them. They've actually taken the response, they've taken the feedback and built upon it. So I'm excited, very excited for this trip. First out of Europe, so I've never been out of Europe before. Furthest I've been is Tenerife, which is still Spanish owned. Yeah, so it'd be nice to actually go to, well, in this case North Africa, so out of Europe into Africa. And spend about, well, 3 nights out there. Planned 3 nights, 2 nights in a hotel, 1 night probably in a different hotel further away from the city centre. It all comes down to how I can plan this trip and if I can get everything to work out just right. So I'll probably go there. So I'm flying in on Wednesday today, sleep Wednesday here, Thursday tomorrow. I'll see if I can try and get that trip down to Zurich. We'll see. So a lot of planning to do, but hopefully it should all work out quite nicely for me. Doing 400 knots ground speed exactly at the moment. Running a headwind of 21 knots. Not the strongest headwind in the world, so that should hopefully stay like that or improve. We can get tailwind later on. As the rest of the flights, I say everything looking pretty standard. In terms of the arrival, so I'm going to actually look at the arrival process for this airport because there's no SPA available. As for ATC again, we're currently on the Marseille control. Marseille will then take us out into Unicon. And again, don't really get much motivated yet here at the moment. We've got right now flights into. Really? Oh, yeah, that is Italian, isn't it? Yeah, it is, sorry. Where are you flying to? Sorry, you're flying to. You're flying to Barca. I don't think Ryanair actually. I don't know. Do Ryanair operate into Barca? I've never heard of it before. Oh, well, fair play if they do. Yeah, whoops. Well, yeah, I mean, the only. I mean, they do Morocco. There's quite a few Moroccan destinations, but no, Ryanair themselves don't necessarily operate into Tunisia. In terms of airports outside of Europe, they operate. So they do Morocco, they do Jordan, they do Israel, they do. That's it, really. Yeah, so it's Israel, Jordan, Morocco. Destinations outside of Europe. And again, to be fair, when I was looking at this trip, I was deciding between Tunisia or Morocco, because Royal Air Maroc also operates the basically operates in someone does. Someone in this region, it's Morocco. Yeah, whatever. Okay, don't think it's them then. Someone in this region operates the 736. Let me have a look at the an operators list. 736 operations. There we go. So it's not Canada. Algeria. Sorry, it's Algeria I was looking at. It's not Morocco. So it's between Air Algeria or Tunisair.
Eh bien, bonjour, table niveau 330 avec vous, en route Tunisair.
Where's it gone? Okay, can't really find it, can I? Fair enough. Pretty tired in the scraps. It was either Algeria or Tunisia. And ultimately, Tunisia. Right, let me go to the charts and have this approach. So get rid of that. We can get rid of the departure information, bring that one up, get rid of that. Right, so runway 27, I'm expecting right. So runway 27, oh gosh. Last time I tried it's a VOR approach. Last time I tried one of these and not end well. I'll pin that. No, I'm fine that to be fair.
Lima Oscar, par contre, votre plan de vol va pas du tout, vous allez où?
So I'll look into it.
Et en route vers Nice.
We're far more comfortable with the ILS, but we can do VOR if we need to.
Pardon, je l'ai pas remis à jour, désolé, je le remets à jour tout de suite.
No star charts, they don't exist. It's just airport charts for Djerba. Yeah, I'm coming from the east, which is most likely. Come from the west, depending on the winds. I can get the wind information for Djerba. It's Delta Tango Juliet. Right, so right now, winds are reporting 020 at 19 knots. 020, really? 020, hang on. So 09 will be for runway then for that occasion. Let me. Doesn't Volanta have like a map a window overlay as well? I'm sure it does. Got weather overlay. What's down there? Okay. Flight plan. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, yes, so, no, that is right. Coming from the east will be preferable, so it will be runway 09 then for approach.
Fox Lima Oscar, rappelez pour me dire que le plan de relais est ok.
Ouais, c'est en cours dans 30 secondes, je pense que ce sera bon.
Right, no license. 27, land 27 side. So I need to take the...
K1 77 is ready for the descent.
KM 737 flight, descent flight level 180.
Descent to 180 for the K1 737.
So it's the Yankee or the Zulu, you can just tell me the difference. Actually, preferably check the charts and tell me.
Ouais, le Lima Oscar, le plan de relais au flotté.
Fox Lima Oscar, je vous remercie, c'est correct. Maintenez niveau 330 jusqu'à Nizar, je vous rappelle.
So choice of flying over the
Ouais,
VOR,
le 330 est désolé.
and then circling into land, or...
KM 737 actually, you're outside my control zone, so you Nikon 122.8, have a nice landing. Bye bye.
The Zulu
Okay, thanks for the service.
transition,
and,
we'll be
switch to,
transitioning
122.9.
at...
Bye bye.
We'll do transition at, so we can go for...
Fox Lima Oscar, Tunisair 7 Romeo pour la 04 gauche, vous souhaitez quelle approche?
Eh bien, l'ILS, ce sera parfait si c'est bon pour vous. Et on a donc Tunisair 7 Romeo.
Affirme, Nizar 7 Romeo, et c'est reçu pour une ILS 04 gauche, Fox Hôtel Lima Oscar.
What did this go?
Et donc le 7 Romeo et l'ILS 4 gauche.
Actually, I could probably do this go, but that comes out of
C'est correct.
facts.
App 4501, montée niveau 250.
COVID actually exists. Oh, yeah, COVID does exist. There you go. Wasn't somewhere out in America. Right. Beer up. To the side. Aims up. South. Mazra up. The showing the charts don't actually tell me what the navigation set says. It's from the east. So Bisco's the most likely at the moment. Let's try Mitzvah. Nope. Naki 1. Found. Naki 2 will skip that. So it's Pinap. Nope. Finally, Drawyah. Pressing so helpful. And no, so we'll stick with the first one then, we'll go in via Mitzvah. See that's head to plan mode, just go step by step. The approach, yeah, see what's happening there, so Toby, Tuck, Amugi, we're going to get rid of that Djerba point there, so Bamgi goes to Mitzvah. Copy that, paste that there.
Fox Hôtel Lima Oscar, descendez niveau 1, unité 6-0.
Then from Mitzvah.
On descend vers le 160 Lima Oscar.
Yeah, it's already works either. In that case, is that Nakil? Set Nakil. Place that there. I'm going to do hand back to 5 brush. We'll see how it goes. See how it goes. that's kind of what I'm expecting for the approach. If I need to do some hand vectoring there, we can always do it just for the sake of making sure we get ourselves onto the glide path. Right, we are now over the Mediterranean Sea. Behind us. Go away, clouds. So we've got Marseille just kind of in the just over there. Cannes just to our east. Very slightly beyond. Down south below us is Cavalier sur Mur, which is the at the moment. It's not too bad on cards actually, the colours quite a bit, but slight haze in the background, so I think some super clear skies, but not terrible by any means. My little 736 handling this light very well so far. Good credit this craft is doing a very good job. Very good job, aeroplane. No, we're doing alright at the moment. Satisfaction 96%. Arrival time 1 hour and 28 minutes. Now we're going approaching. This thing that we'll be landing at 12:35 Zulu. So that gives us, well, it's 10:57 now, so I'd say 11 o'clock. An hour and 1 hour and 37 minutes to arrival. 1 hour and 37 minutes. So yeah, okay, slightly behind on the expected arrival again. Whoopsie. It's not the end of the world, right? So expected landing time. It's fine. That's fine, just to make sure I'm also got time in my real work. Right now, I'm going to work in a bit in real life. Just doing these videos nice and early to get them all out, but at the moment, all looking fine. It's a bit quiet at the moment. I don't know if it's next still online, just quiet moment. Marseille ground online as well, very good. Sorry, Marseille delivery, so we're just starting out their ATC. ATC applicant, I think that should be your very first session. You've done 14 hours of delivery, fair play, dude. 14 hours as an ATC applicant, no, that's... I need to do it one day. I really need to sit down and actually do ATC one day, because I'd love to do it. I'd love to actually sit down and control the aircraft. I just need to learn the processes, basically, and I'm sure you guys would love it as well if I did an ATC stream. Just fly into Drawyah airports and have a laugh. I've been able for half an hour now. An hour and a half to go to landing. Hopefully we'll go to plan, as well as the outbound flights. I've also got the return flight recorded for LevelUp. Going to be on Saturday. Actually in prime stream time, so you can check my flight rod 24 during the main go time. But let's see about my trips. I do really, I mean, I enjoy travelling. I enjoy going trips and going places. I equally enjoy planning trips. I mean, tours like Rome to Rio, they're a godsend when it comes to actually figuring out where things are going. If you've never used it before, Rome to Rio, highly recommend. If you don't quite know where you're going, so for example, let's do this trip. So I say I'm going from Tunis to Zurich. So you can see the option to fly there, bus there, train change for a taxi, or taxi all the way through, or just drive. I'm not gonna. Well, if you go for a taxi cross country, not actually terrible pricing. See, recommended fastest is the flights. So get to the airports, fly to Zurich, then take a taxi where I need to. The airport sounds pretty much in the city centre anyway. I'd probably just walk that. Well, we'll see. Oh, like, yeah, the train. Train the train, or station the train. So what I was looking at doing is this. So Tunis to Zurich, by
C'est en fait
SMTRI.
01, c'est reçu, oui. Si vous bougez encore sur le radar,
They have
je sais pas ce qu'il en est.
services, so Tunis south to Dessert. So I want to take this bus in a 501, 2100 to 04, so 4 in the morning get there, so overnight bus. The problem is,
C'est reçu 45-01.
line Tunis south to Dessert, departures are suspended at the moment, so
Fox Hotel Lima Oscar, descendez niveau 8-0.
the fact that they've scheduled the flights,
Descend
sorry,
niveau
scheduled the
8-0,
bus,
Oscar.
nothing's actually running at the moment. So the alternative I've got, so it's not the one I really want to do, but I've got to do it, is to fly there. So, well, maybe Tunisair, well, I've never flown them before, so this will be first time, but Tunis to Zurich. Your return flight on the 20, well, this is taking place on 27th, 26th is this flight. I'm getting myself confused. 27th, so 27th flight today, leaving on the 30th. So it's 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights. Arriving here kind of midday, leaving at midday. So I could do it on night 28th, turning 29th. That's an option I've got. This flight takes place 3 times a week as well, so I'm not sure I've got the right dates for it. Yeah, 28th to 29th. I can't do a same day trip because flight overlaps, and I can't do it kind of one after the other because, well, I can't do it on Sunday because there's no flights either, so that works for me. Time-wise, this aircraft I think arrives like 6 PM and then it leaves next day at 7 PM, so it's a full day out.
C'est reçu 45-01, maintenant c'est moi qui suis navré pour vous. Désolé, bah, ce sera pour la prochaine.
$242 Tunisian and
Bon courage,
pounds.
à bientôt.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
That's useless, not Tunisian dollars. So it's 242 TND in pounds. So looking at £61 for return flights. The bus costs £7, which is 200 or so. 200. 30 Tunisian dollars. So yeah, I'm hoping the bus works. If it does, then that's golden for me. If not, then well, yeah, plan B. Now, I can't really go by SFAX or Djerba, because there's no real connection between those two either. So if I go SFAX, yeah, train like halfway there, take a taxi. We'll fly by Tunis. Djerba. 2 trains, 6 hours. It's a long cut, well, that's very pretty, but it's all about finding the right connections, really. And also what time is the flights as well, so if I do a search for Tunis to SFAX, cheaper flights, far cheaper. But then time, then do a flight on a Friday, so... Well, they're not complaining about this overlapping, are they? What time are these flights? So I get there at 8 in the morning. I leave at 12 o'clock. It's not really a trip, is it? 45-minute direct flights with a Tunisair Express ATR. It's not really a viable trip, that is it? So we'll I'll get back to planning that. If I get an email soon from the bus company, then that will be the best option for me. So then just book a one-way flight, have the cheapest option, plus the bus down there overnight. Do what I need to do, which is a tour of Star Wars sets, and then head back. As for our flights, we are doing well, pretty good at the moment. Of course, on the left hand side, we may spot the coast a bit, kind of in the background. Not really current cloud cover, although I would say the cloud shadows are very nicely done. Oop, and Casabon. Can see Corsica now. Yeah, so if you get a chance, if you don't own Enhanced Skyscapes, it's really, really good. Highly recommended, highly recommended. Little 736 handling things very, very well. So if I'm, let's say, 4 rows from the back, what's this interior layout's like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So yeah, this here is my seat. That's the view I'm getting. I don't think I've quite got to the entertainment, but there it is, it is. And there's 1, 2, 3 rows behind me. See, I'm 4 rows forward. So this is using the standard cabin out or economy.
Fox Lima Oscar, c'est bien reçu. Descendez.
Right now,
oui,
sitting here,
j'attendais un petit
enjoying my flight, looking out the window or watching a film or something.
Descendez 4000
Thinking about you guys in the premiere taking place as well, thinking, how's the flight doing? Are we on time? Are we matching up? I will say, I mean, for a 20-year-old 737, it's going to be quite the adventure. No winglets, never got retrofitted, never got any real modern features stuck in, still using the old Collins autopilots. Quite the aircraft. Quite the aircraft. I can also do as well, if I go over to our, not that one, go to destination, go to forecast, let's plug in the expected winds for our flight today. So that's the winds information. There you go, 12%, so we're going to mark it for, so it's 200, 100 and 390 to climb. These are to percent even, so 390. 200 and 100. So expecting winds to be 241 at 062. Really? Quite heavy winds that, I must say. I guess even stronger down below. 300 increases to 83 knots, then drops down to 067 at 20,000, 210 at 67. And then 22149. Let's keep that. So that's our winds calculated for descents. I'll go over to the fixes. We can stick a fix at the airports. Sorry. You know, that's correct. And the radius. So the cruising at 2390, 39 times 3.
Fox Lima Oscar, tournez à gauche 4090.
117 miles, that's our top of descents.
Eh bien, on tourne à gauche au 090.
I've done that completely wrong, haven't I? What have I done wrong there? Oh yeah, sorry, ignore that. Slash 17, sorry, I want the that one, there we go. Just marking it drawn. And do one at 10 miles and at 4 miles, so make sure I'm in the right place. So 117 is the top of descent area, 10 miles is the acceptable glide slope, and 4 miles will be at our minimum approach speed. So at that point, gear down, pre-landing checks completed, and that's set for landing. In a couple of minutes we'll be leaving Marseille Control, so we'll send that to Unicorn very shortly. We'll rematch our flight plan at Sardinia. So all of that's got cut off. I presume that'd be even better for the winds anyway, for our case, but not the end of the world. So then, regional flight plan at Pelos, cut across Sardinia, and it's just a case of flying around and through Tunisia. Got a little bit of a wobble there. What that's all about? I'll just do a bit to the left slightly, and then push back to the flight plan. Interesting. Not sure about that little wobble there. So it's such a small aircraft, even a light breeze is enough to blow us off course slightly. That's probably what it is, just a case of the wind's got a bit much.
Top Image, car tourné à gauche, direct l'MPU, autorisé à approcher les 04 gauche, rappelé établi.
Aircraft around
Eh bien, à gauche, direct l'MPU, on est éclairé sur la 04 gauche, on rappelle établi.
Make us past, well, not really, it's too far toward the, to the east. You've got a Condor 320 heading straight to Zurich. Can't wait for that image to be changed. We've got Athens to Ibiza, Helmic Airlines flight crossing through. Really quite quiet at the moment. If you look at Lyon, there's three inbound flights. One from Lisbon. Was it Lisbon or Paris Orly? Paris Orly. So you need a shot Paris Orly.
François 70-50, non vous avez terminé le roulage, traversez la 04 gauche et roulez point d'attente Whisky 3 de la 04 droite.
Bremen inbound from Zulu. That's Biarritz. That's a military flight, C-160. C-160? No. Oh, it's a Transall. Oh yeah, none of these, okay. Yeah, so C-160 flights are just crossing into PAL from Biarritz. And the one outbound flight is Djerba. I feel like we're the only flight heading into Djerba at the moment. I can't imagine Djerba being a particularly busy airport either. If I quickly pop over to the My Airports map. How many flights have we received in the last week, or last month? It's had a few aircraft, so there's no 23 flights this week. Tell you what, it's busy enough it would be. So one inbound, there you go, Drawyah TAR 589. No T at the moment. Honestly, I must admit, I thought this would be a pretty... Try and find like another airport that. Here you go, we're going to go to Tunisair. How much... Okay, Tunisair has never received a flight, basically, ever. Nothing this month, nothing at all. So yeah, if I can figure out a trip to Tunisair, then I will genuinely go and do it. in terms of actually travelling in Tunisia, I mean, there's a map that the government have put out. So I've got no issue with this country, never have, never will. You can see as long as I'm going to Djerba, so I'll be on the island of Djerba, which is marked as green. Tunisair marked as green, Tunis marked as green, so as long as I'm saying the main part of the country, it's alright. There are a few red zones along the border of Libya and yellow along Algeria. But for the most part, I mean, there was a shooting several years ago now, that's long gone past. It's increased. But yeah, for the most part, it's a safe country. I mean, if you look at it in a world ranking index, there's a website that lists everything. Here we go. There you go. Safe travel abroad. So Max 53 out of 100. Tunisia, safest cities Djerba and Tunis, so go to the two safest places. Overall risk is low, transport risk is medium, so not very reliable, but again, in my case, pickpocketing is the biggest risk. Natural disasters, so forest fires and floods happen, muggings, again, medium, so I was saying public, I guess. Terrorism low, scams medium. I mean, if you looked at it on the where is it? Countries, there you go. Rank it from top to bottom, so Iceland safest.
589er, switching Unicom on to the decimal 8. Have a nice flight, bye-bye.
Unicom on 122.8 for Tunisair 859. Thank you very much, take care and bye. Right to Unicom, thank you very much. Yeah, so Tunisia, it's safer than Brazil. It's about as safe as Morocco. Jamaica, about as safe as Jamaica, marked 53. Cayman Islands only 50, so actually some countries. South Africa 48, and a big part of it also depends on where you go in the countries, but for me, like Turkey 45. Apparently Tunisia, far safer than Turkey. Nigeria 44, Trinidad Tobago 43, all these places people go to on holiday regardless. Yeah, they had a shaky pass. Russia 34, whoa! What have you wrote for Russia? Fair enough, there's all that going on at the moment. Problematic history, criminal activity in the 90s, so it's basically avoid the mafia. Transport's safe, pickpocketing is very high, and by children, okay. Natural disasters low, mugging medium. Oh, fair enough. I don't know where that's there you go. If you think Russia's a safe country, then Tunisia apparently is a heaven. And I'd love to visit Russia one day. Not at the moment, again, of course, of the stuff going on at the moment, but especially for the architecture, the history, some country, Russia, so I'd love to pay a visit. And of course, old aeroplanes. They've got a whole bunch of old Illusion aircraft and suitable aircraft to operate domestically. Not many these days, numbers are dwindling, but hopefully you can get myself onto one of these aircraft at some point. So we could be crossing this Air Canada ahead of us, sorry, an Air Europe. Just pretending, masquerading as an Air Canada. Yeah, so we're going to be on the cross path. They're 3,000 feet below us, they're at 3.6, we're at 3.9. I may or may not see them up close, but they are on radar. And we're getting a bit close up. Yeah, as I say, Tunisia for me, I mean, I've seen the history, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so a lot of Star Wars is filmed in Tunisia as well, including the town of Tatooine masquerading as Tatooine. I'm sure it'll be a grand trip, I'd say. I've got no issues with the place. I regard myself as a safe traveller, I don't mess around with things. Yeah, it should work out nicely. At this point, we are now approaching the midway point of the flight, so about 43% of the way there. Airborne for about 50, well, was a bit late on that, but like 52, 53 minutes. This takes rather about an hour. Progress so far so good. Now over. So coming up. They're actually getting very close to us. It's a few thousand feet below, but should become visible to us because again, that's what 20 miles now to our left. Are they banking now? Are they turning slightly? Yes, no, we're going to turn to the right anyway, so no, we won't. We won't get particularly close to them. May see them pass by the left to right, but unlikely. 10 miles away now somewhere. Away, just for an immediate left. Nope, just not got the range, just not got the range. We'll go to FPC. Performance settings. Do you like your PC on IVAO? No labels. Yeah, no labels means no aeroplane. That's going to feed it as well. What is it, 4 seasons? I've disabled it. There we go. And if you click the season textures, then it's just a free seasons tool that does it quite nicely. I'm just looking at around to Rio, from where I live to where I stay in Poland. Apparently you can get a bus or a coach within like 10 miles of the place. Yeah, so we're progressing well at the fight so far. Nothing really in the way. ATC going to be quite the rest of the fight, so I'm going to say stay on Unicom for the rest of this trip. In about 40 or so minutes to hit our top of descent. I think exactly when we hit top of descent. The progress page. 2 top of descent, 12 Zulu, 206 miles. So yeah, about 45 minutes to TFDi. 45 minutes. So in terms of what's next, so I'll get myself into Tunisia, spend a few nights there, with or without the tour in Tunisair, we'll see. Next trip after this will be middle of May off to Poland. Hopefully there, because that's some passport stuff. So, as I've done my Polish, I've actually had a passport before, so I need to get some ID sorted and then should be passports. As because of political reasons, you'll know, not having European Union passports can get a bit, well, unhandy. So it's just useful to have as a backup. And at least with Polish and British passports, I don't need to rescind either one, so I actively use both of them anywhere I travel to. After that, I'm off to Finland in July. I'm going for the 1st to the 5th or the 1st to the 6th. I need to figure out if I get the extra annual leave or not. So going to Poland, I'm going to fly to Rzeszów with Ryanair on the 737-800, so pretty standard for that one. It's the following trip then. I've only got one leg booked at the moment, and that's the flights from Oslo to Tampere. That'll be their Baltic. Looking at pricing for London to Oslo, the first leg of that trip, at the moment looking around 60 quid or so, hoping a bit cheaper, we'll see. And then it's a case of flying back to London. So the flight I'm looking at, Finnair 1337 on the 6th of July. It's an A350 flight. I've never done a wide body before. It's only a 3-hour trip, but an A350 or an A320. Oh, it's an A350 or an A319 I get choice between with Finnair. The A350 flight's about an hour earlier, but I mean, you can see the decision I'm making. Do I take the 19 or do I take a wide body? It's not a difficult decision. I think you guys can guess which I'm going to take. So yeah, so I'm just waiting to get news on my annual leave. If I can get the 6th off, I'll fly on the 6th. If I don't get 6th off, I'll fly on the 5th instead. So we'll see. We'll see. That's what I've got planned at the moment. And after that, nothing really. Just haven't dried up a little bit. So I've got nothing booked in June. In June, I'm going to stay at home most of it. If we hit July, then the school summer holidays will start. So all of a sudden, things get very busy and expensive. So I'll not travel during the summer holidays. And probably in September I'll make another trip abroad again, so we'll see about that. I'll take a short break from flying. I've done a fair bit of flying this year already. I mean, I've done Tenerife, done Napoli, done Amsterdam and Paris, done Zurich and back, done Lyon, done Tunis. Later in the week, well, today, later on, I'm going to fly to, so now doing Djerba, later today, going to do Tunis, then it's onwards to London again, then to Poland, and then to Finland. So yeah, I've already done a lot of trips this year. Just need to get back into, well, normality really. So yeah, that's my summer holidays, pretty much all sorted. It's not a headwind now, the winds are picking up a little bit. Yeah, less than an hour now to arrival. Less than 1 hour to go. I'm leaving Thailand very shortly. Fly along the Mediterranean Tyrrhenian Sea. Maybe I'll pronounce that word, Tyrrhenian. So fly between the Mediterranean and Tyrrhenian Seas, enter over Tunis. That's pretty much our same departure path for the flight out later in the week. But over Tunis, look down at that, just flying along the coast, spot Hammamet and Sousse on the way, spot Sfax. At this point we'll be well on our descent. Then running it on the source. Actually, what I will do, Tunis, Delta, Tango Alpha. Actually, I don't need to because I've got the waypoint there. Tuck. Haven't I? Yeah, TEC. Tuck. That's Tunis Carthage Airport. Yeah, TU, Tunis, C, Carthage. So that's the airport there. 170 miles ahead of us. Percent just kind of beyond that a little bit further. I just got a screenshot of Malta. That's very nice. Malta Airport, PMDG, PMDG. No, this is. Is that an XA model? It's not an XA model. Probably say P3D for that. So yeah, that would do the PMDG. I'll screenshot that. Very nice angle there. Not the original. See who posted it. Wartran 787. Can't like it. So I believe they've deleted it. Which should be a shame. Screenshot the Toulouse. Oh, that's very nice. P3D that one definitely. Love the angle. Love the view. Run behind. Very nicely done. Luxembourg. That's it's not a screenshot, is it? Ain't a screenshot, my friends. Not this time. Who's this? Got Azul's Airline. Yes, it's an alright screenshot. Nothing special about that one. Sorry. That's nice. That's very nice. Cardiff. Yeah, default wing view. It's a nice scene, but it's pretty standard vanilla Microsoft Flight Sim. Not like these super sexy 737 photos. Yeah, some are better than others. X-Plane, I'm better with the Microsoft Flight Sim drone cam than I am certainly with the X-Plane free cam. We're at cruise, top percent, less than an hour. Configure our approach and our landing. The IS frequencies. Actually, no, there's no IS frequency in there because it's not a it's not an ILS. It's a DOR approach. Go back to the charts for that one. So yeah, we're definitely do that one. So that one can go. Right. So the 112.2. I don't know how this works, so 112.2. If I switch over to get rid of the VOR to need that. Actually, that can stay. And hopefully, it's a case of when we get closer to the destination, that should give me a DME for the airport. You can see DME is required, so we plug that in 112.2. No course figures, no VOR. There's no IS-50 approach. About 6 miles, we'll start the 3 degrees glide slope down, about 600 feet for about 1 minute. We need to go around, which altitude will be at so climb on runway 268, and down to 5, turn left, join deep below holding 2,500, and that's 18 instructions. Close to altitude 6,000 feet, and set the minimums. So we're going to be across the aircraft. Maybe decision heights of 360. Thank you. And then the meet on destination should be able to do straight from here, can I? Nope, sorry on that one. Right country, no, it's right country, it's wrong place. There you go, that's us. QH 995, switch that on the left-hand standby, whoops. 995. So the standby, back up even. A bit early for that, but not the end of the world. Cool. That's our approach configuration set. Now let me see if I can actually create this DNE arc. I've never actually done one before. necessarily near the first place to start. Unless it's just a case of doing, what are the names of these ones? Nickels, entry points. Is this just going to be a case of? So I'm just learning. Juliet Bravo Alpha. Where'd you get a radial from? Let me try something. I've never done before. In worst case scenario, just give up. Flyers says, right, JBA. So Juliet Bravo Alpha. 1. Not in day space. Cool, nope. That failed. So I'll look into radial arcs and how to build approaches, DME arcs. For me, it's just a case of unless you literally just code them manually. I can't get the idea now actually, so what you're doing is you're building waypoints step by step. How many miles are you doing it by? So, you're building your waypoints. Build the angle. I'll look into that another time. Speak to me, me trainer. So it's just a case of, like, I get the understanding. So you just need to figure out how to read the chart for it, kind of what you plug into where to get all the different waypoints in. Not the end of the world. So Volanta disconnected. Oh yeah, Volanta's still tracking my flights. Why are you not doing this anymore, plane? Got the water now. What have you done next, Volanta? That's odd. Lancer's just stopped tracking the flight. It's just decided. I'll take that screenshot. It's gone red, or it's gone grey now, so it's no longer green and tracking. Very odd. And hopefully it resets itself. Not the end of the world if it doesn't. Given me stats will be a bit inaccurate for the tracking side of things. Right, yeah, so it's just a case of, I can understand how to read the charts for building the DME art, then actually it's not too difficult. Airport elevation 20 feet. 360. Yeah, so previous level approach. Don't be too much for us to really worry about. Very shortly we'll be able to see the coast of Tunisia just ahead of us. 80 miles or so, be over Tunis. And shortly after that, 160 miles starts our descent. So far progressing well. Flight's doing pretty well. Flight's been absolutely fun so far. Absolutely perfect. Nothing for us to worry about. It's the 736, and fair enough, it's just the 737 in the day, so technically it's nothing dissimilar to what I've flown in the past. I just, hang on, it was almost around the S2IPC, was it that when I killed it? Possibly. Whoopsie. Oh, that's not the end of the world. Yeah, so, technically this is another 737, so it's all been pretty much the same regardless. Yeah, no complaints, doing well, doing very well so far. As for winds, they've increased about 6-7 knots now, so we're definitely fighting a relatively strong headwind. Airborne, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Currently 11:49 Zulu. So we have a look at the 12:14 for descent. 25 minutes for descent at the moment, 25 minutes. Landing 42. So actually what it's telling me is that we need to have like another hour in the air at this rate. Winds have been in our favour today. Winds have not been on our favour. Our scheduled landing time . Scheduled landing time is 12:40. local time, so plus no. Sorry, I've never understood Zulu and time zones. I've always been confused by. We'll get there when we get there. I think actually is our time even incorrect in this? It's 11:15 UTC, 12:50 local time. We'll get there when we get there. Yeah, I think that's correct because it's +1, +1 for original. I don't know. We get there when we get there. So I've never understood properly time zones in different countries and crossing and all that. In Tunisia, they use Central European Standard Time. It's only GMT +1, so virtually same time zone as you get in the UK. Oh, it's actually the same time as in the UK anyway. Because I don't think they have daylight savings. 2008, October 26th, 2008 was the last time they changed the clocks. So no, Tunisia no longer use daylight savings. So the exact same time zone as the UK right now. Which means this suggests either the in-sim time is wrong, or we're now behind schedule. Would that be correct? No, I mean, load time same as UTC time, which it shouldn't be. So, I don't know. Daylight savings and summertime and time zones, that's always been my weak point. It always has been. So we're now about 100 miles away from our top of ascent. We've got 3 miles to go. We'll let VNAV manage everything for the aircraft. Once again, X-Plane and VNAV always always been a dream. In fact, with the Zybo systems thrown into LevelUp aircraft, it should just descend on the profile without any problems whatsoever. I'll keep monitoring the system just in case. You never know, may get a bit of deviation or something later on. Then try and fly the radial arc as close as possible. Get ourselves on get ourselves onto the approach path, and then manage our descents into the airports. I'd like to figure out at some point is in the Airbus, next to the vertical speed option is like a button press, and it switches from the vertical speed in feet per minute to angle of attack. That's something you can do in the 737. I must admit, I don't know. Probably not actually, given the edge of the system, so we'll have to like send it 600 feet per minute or something like that. So I'm not on the edge of that this engagement, but look at this thing. Look at that! It's ancient! Yeah, the other coins was pilot system. Say, Honeywell, I believe it was, is it Honeywell Collins Boeing ports? I think it was Honeywell. Or even, I know Boeing bought one of their suppliers out and now do everyone's in-house basically. Yeah, the system got upgraded in the mid-2000s. So this is your main notification anyway, so it's like in here. So if we go to settings, display, go to also flight systems. There you go. So using, sorry, this is Honeywell now using. Collins is a new one. So yeah, this is what Boeing aircraft is now in-house. Collins, Honeywell's the original system, which is what they used to use. So you can see the variation system there. Far clearer the new one, but virtually the same functionality, same buttons, just, well, maybe different layout, it's just same everything, different frame. No smoking, shows the age of this, well, still master chime only, that should say no smoking. The only thing that would make this really different would be if we had the, so no winglets, no winglets available for it, no lights is available, that's fine, halogen lights. Anything that's really different is eyebrows instead. That would really age the aircraft. No eyebrows. It's newer than that. Just what it lands down below, down the right. Well, so I can't actually show you because the map's frozen. Much. So if we take a screenshot, we can actually appear in the screenshot break as well. So here's. So recognise the switches we take them. I'm going to put on the map as well, it's where we were last seen. Very odd. It's frozen it's not like there's something. There we go. Let's just step on top of that as it's not fair enough, so yes, map's a bit unhappy at the moment. Whereby it is, right, where's the whereby? So I'll on this as well. So yeah, we are now over Tunisia. Very sure we can fly over Tunis. And aircraft is departing very shortly. Sorry, just arriving even. It's now howdy up from Zagreb apparently. Going down to Tunisia. And 777, interesting. Yeah, so we'll be flying over Tunis very shortly. We'll look down and actually try and spot the aircraft at the airports. And we're heading south, start of the descent, and it's approaching into Djerba Island. I'll have about 4 or 5 hours in Djerba until I again have connecting flights back up to Tunis later on. That's on the right to get a view of some of the land. And on the left, not much at the moment. I'll probably, if the aircraft's still completely empty, probably switch seats at some point and have a look out the right hand side. And when that's landing, switch back to the left. Actually, depending on which runway we land on, might make a switcheroo for the more scenic side. Again, let's see. Let me have a look at it now. The flights, how many passengers have booked. So you never know. Tom might actually have joined us. So I may have booked a flight. So it's from Lyon to Djerba. So I could have flown Lyon to Tunis if I wanted to. That was in a 320. Which, where's the excitement in that? Where's the excitement in that? You want to do it? Got to do it right. So. Flight, direct one. Price has increased quite a bit since I actually booked it. How much has it increased by? Since I booked this trip, it's increased about €100. Right, so since I booked this flight, there's a few more passengers now. So there's me on a 17A. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 people have booked alongside myself. So 7 passengers on this entire aeroplane. Will we reach the 12? Who knows? Even then, 12 passengers is nothing. Yeah, that's just the that's what I'm expecting at the moment. So it's going to be an empty aeroplane. I'm coming towards the back on the left hand side. A few people dot around in front. What does it see? Costs €8 again, not too bad. And further back, it's cheaper. In fact, the very rear seats are free. I'm not sure what any of this means. Apparently you get something preferential at the front and it just becomes normal. That's the exit row. Something preferential, but I can't quite understand what French there is. Yeah, 7 passengers on this flight booked. 7. Right, so there's Tunis. Tunis Carthage Airport. Top cents, 80 miles, with configured, landing soon. So got our approach configured, got our barometer set, frequency in place for the tracking. I think there's an ADF for us to follow as well. I think it's just going to be the frequency for the ILS VOR. Yep, that's fine. So we will set our altitude to 1,600 feet, 1,600 being the inset of the glide slope, 2,500 is the approach. We will exit, so landing on 27 sides. We can exit by Charlie, because in the light aircraft no wait to us, so we can exit quite early, get something from the terminal, so we'll use braking level 2. Slowing down. We could get off Bravo if we wanted to, if we wanted to head for the runway, but it's 10,000 feet long, 3 kilometers long, plenty of runway, probably even exit by Delta, but quick enough. Okay, so taxi down Charlie to the apron and aircraft into park, which might be in concept for arrival as well. So runway 27, be a VOR approach, no start for arrival. Inbound from the north. $70 miles to the cents. So that's actually at 91%, so I think a little bit mixed up. This person there are concerned a bit. Yeah, they're alright, not been greenest of the dots so far. And I think Ryan's a bit, yeah, again, alright. Other than that, most passengers happy, content. Yeah, the most passengers aren't too bad, man. It's just those two that are dragging us all down, Ryan and Arthur. You too, Evelyn. Start smiling when we're off the aeroplane. To your cabin crew. So 12 passengers. This has probably been the easiest shift in a little while. And the fact that my flight in real life could actually have fewer passengers than that, it's crazy. Traffic, there's nothing inbound into Djerba at the moment, nothing outbound, so I'll airport to ourselves. Yeah, so it's what you expect. You find the 736, I mean I can't think there's too many people flying the 736 on the world network. Aircraft, the 73. So we're only 6, no 700s, a couple of 800s just around. 2 900s, so let's go through the whole family, so that's 9, 5, nothing, 4, nothing, 3, nothing, and 732, it's Tunis. Fair enough, 732 is Tunis, that must be the Flyjason model, that. With all the aircraft, who's this? Croatia Airlines 732 flying out of the Grab. I didn't realise that was 732. God, Tunisia getting all the obscure aircraft today. Look, it's let's see, B38, no, 39, 37. Yeah, there's no Max aircraft either. Just I didn't realise there's only got 736 into Djerba. You got a 732 going into Tunis. Owned by a 320 Neo for that different generation. That's fair enough. Didn't think we've seen that. Such a rare aircraft. I don't think there'll be any 731s. Anyone's ever existed. Anyone's ever made one for flight sim. So looking down at Seuss to the left hand side. From here, it's a beautiful country Tunisia, so very excited to trip down. Yeah, 4 hours in Djerba, so I don't think I'll really go to the city centre. I'll spend time around the airport and maybe walking around a couple of roads, whatever. We'll get back in quite quickly. 2 hours in, and then 2 hours to flight back to Tunis. And the second leg, so the flight in the ATR back to Tunis, because when I'm not actually get a video of that, we'll see. That one, at the moment, won't have. Well, I can't see passengers on board that flight because there's no seats map available on the website. If I go to Tunisair website again and actually put that same flight, so flights from Djerba to Tunis, 1/27th. Go with that seating selection option. That ticket was actually very cheap indeed. So later flights, there's 2 flights today, morning and evening, so that's an evening flights. What stuff means? There you go. So this is all the different seating options. So you've got dunes, light dunes, surf, plage, soleil, terrazzo, golf, promo, and golf. Yeah, if you like golfing, get 3 golf clubs. And then on surf for the inbound flights. And I'll turn us off this leg. So yeah, with that flight in particular, I don't think, yeah, I can order food, I can book assistance, but there's no seat selection, so either they allocate me a seat randomly when I get there, or it's first come first serve, and I just have to be quick enough to become those seats, which to be fair, if the flight's as busy as this, I don't think much of a problem, but you'll see how they get there. Wind's now since I'm not headwind, so pick up a little bit there. 40 minutes expected arrival, so starting to leak behind a little bit on schedule, nothing too bad. Still Max 7.3, still flying a bit close to the airline. All that sides. It's got some screenshots still. What's this? 7 minutes ago, Swiss 340. Yeah, it's in there. Very nice. Shame can't track the flights, but we've got other tools that can do it for us. So, we're now entering that... We've got a 20-mile gap there, but we need to make sure we've got our aircraft configured for descent. And we also announced our TOD, so runway 27, it's only for level 390, inbound VOR. That looks good to me. Right. We'll get connected to VOR. You can now see on the super zoom in co-pilot side, so that green bar is ticking over. Jeez, quite the image there. Right. So now so it hits in top of descent. We'll reset the altitude to 1,200. It's quite low altitude actually, I'll say, if you intercept. Sky slope. Confirm next case, 1,200. Correction, 1,600. So looking at 736 from earlier, so 732 from earlier, check aircraft's longer. So the 736 is very helpful. Length 31.2 meters. 31.2 meters. 30.5. So that 732 is still half a meter shorter than me. But again, that's just the range and scale of the 737 from its first production release to where it is now, the Max 10, that thing's massive. Yeah, it just shows the range of the aircraft. Recently been, probably should start descent very shortly. It's been through a lot, 737. It's been through a heck of a lot. That's kind of why, well, that's why it is the workhorse of the skies. Ladies and gentlemen, an update from the flight deck. We're just at 12% and we're landing at Djerba in approximately 25 minutes. If you need to toilets, please do so now, as in a couple of minutes we'll be preparing the cabin for our landing, which means locking the toilets and seatbelt signs come back on. So once again, if you need to use toilets, please do so now, as we'll be closing the toilets and sending you back to your seats, landing in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much. Right, so cabin's now well aware. We're going to hit the top descent, altitude set, aircraft configured. All we've got to do now is cross that TOD marker and drop. This is about 3 miles ahead of us. Everything's configured, so that was configured long ago. There you have it. So now in the sense the engines were retarded, finally been off path down. Tracking our altitude based on the mark on the right there. Alright, so maintaining our descent, managing our aircraft's path down. So far so good. You can see the green arc as well, showing where we're going to end up. Which is kind of a little bit beyond our own speed, but we'll adjust that later. Something a rate of about 1950 feet per minute, about 2,000 feet per minute descent. Should be down to altitude in approximately 20 minutes. So we are behind schedule by not much. 9:22 to the arrival. Expected landing in approximately 24 minutes anyway, so as per the scheduled flight time, we're pretty much bang on. Just the attitude to lose at this point. This also means actually I've now done all the variants of the LevelUp 737NG since that released. I've done several 800 flights of Ryanair, but the 900, it was a Delta flight of 900s. 700 I did with someone else, I can never remember that one. I've done all the variants of the 737 since LevelUp release, just not the 600 yet. Tunisair with the real world flight on the last option. Progress, we're now 89% of the way there. And the last 10% of the trip, passing to level 320. Satisfaction is at 91%. I'm going to drop a little bit since we are behind schedule on the arrival. Not much. That's our descent profile within 39 feet where we need to be, so pretty good on that regard. The OR's not yet hooked on to the airport. 11075, that is correct frequency. No, because I haven't actually switched it. That would help. There you go, Djerba, 70-80 miles to go. That's more like it, so has found it. 79 miles to go DME. Take the course of the runway as well actually while I'm at it. So the runway course heading is 268. Yes, 268. Two six eight, and 268. That go away. So you can see there's the airport marked out. There's our runway course. Continue our descent down. I'm interested to actually do one quick step check on the flight plan again. Does that follow how well is that for the course? Steps there. So it actually does also correct itself, kind of. See, there's the course, the white dots line. And Genta is quite hard to take on, so slight offset on that, but not by much. And any correction we can do by hand to get to the enough altitude. Seeing 260, 26,000 feet. And we are using National as a waypoint, are we? The answer is yes. Indirect to National now. A bit of turbulence across, a bit of a wood wobble on that. So the yoke there pushing left and right slightly, keep it stable. Again, the 736, when it's designed in shape, does make a few small corrections here and there to keep the aircraft on course and heading. So it's not a crosswind at the moment. No terrain, it's not really where the updrafts at the moment, so it's just the aircraft is well to keep itself steady on the approach. 3000, 230. Hang on a minute. Hey, no, sorry, ignore me. It's just having to have in the background. Right, so, continuing our descent. Really fighting this crossing at the moment. So we can input the forecast because it now knows, well, at least it's aware of what speeds are at different altitudes. So we're having a bit of a fight at the moment. Be careful about the crosswind arrival. It's going to need to fight or so. Using manual control of the aeroplane. Visibility's alright, it's just the winds we need to worry about today. Just the winds. See that one's back online. Passengers back to their seats. Stacks down below. So some good stacks. Yeah, do the glide path only for us. So glide path 3 degrees down, glide path 3 degrees down. Let it follow the altitude down to 0. Should just follow the path down anyway for the glide slope. That's 16,000. Nakiel to Foster Delta 27 Zulu, so we've got just under 5 miles, 4.6 miles at 1,600, which is what the aircraft's levelling off at. Well, it needs to be at 1,600 or above, 1,600 or above, 670 or above, and the airport's 69 above sea level, so it's set on to 600 at the moment. We're reaching down to 0 as we continue the glide path down to the runway. Hopefully the VNAV will then keep us on the altitude of the approach. We'll switch off autopilot and take a manual flight. Reset altitude 2,500, go around to approach altitude sets, and then kind of take it in from there. Passing through 14,000, 140, almost at destination, 30 miles ahead. Now officially behind schedule. Well, expected arrival was 22 anyway, so not really behind by much. But as it stands, making alright progress. So just confirm the approach, so I'm probably actually going crazy now. ETA, it's 12:40, so yeah, something's amiss by my approach, my arrival time. I don't quite know what it is, but something is amiss. Not terribly out, but it just means the top ETA Zulu, just disregard that, or minus now of the actual arrival time. Passing through 12,000. Pushing 10,000, landing lights on. Cabin crew, 10 minutes landing, 10 minutes.
We have begun our final descent to your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any
As we approach 10,000, aircraft need to reduce speeds down to 250 knots, and from there, continue our descents. There we go. Is that the airport in sight? Yes, there's the airport. You see the bright lights of that. Try getting scenery for it, but the one that I found can actually get downloaded in the end. So it's just been really, really slow, unfortunately. Set the altimeter to local, so reset, reset. And they're on for 2 hours and 2 minutes. It's a late departure, which I guess would have cost us as such, not by much. Only give us about 20 minutes of setup time, which was plenty of time actually for the 736, with only 12 passengers on board, whatever it was. 12 passengers, so that's 17 people total on board. Yes, that all worked out quite nicely for us. Why have we No, that's fine. Ignore me. It's fine. Making small adjustments to keep it, I guess, steady, but ultimately we try to be level, because I'd like to be level by the intercepts. Okay, that's not the one that's important, it's that one. We're going to continue to further, so one has to finish from there. I'm going to try and force it to... Yeah, to do that, so 1,800 above by Nakil, and that's exactly by Delta 27 Zulu, so that's what I'm looking for. Aircraft will then adjust its temp profile, try and get that as close as possible. Be it, not by much. 160 at say 2,000. Can we get it? No, that's more like it. Just plain area, that's more like it, perfect. Just getting the exact numbers in. It's 5. Speed information just yet. That'll be fine. Right, so continue our descent. That's 5 degrees. Not actually reducing down to 140 at the moment. Speed control manual then to speed, hold that at 200 knots. So I'm not an expert at 737, just got to get everything kind of where I want it to be. 4,000 now. Kind of go to more like it. Cool. So maintain its speed, maintain heading, maintain the altitude. Should be level by the what I need. Just 180 knots. A little bit above the glider. Yeah, actually fine, but again, nothing aircraft can't handle.
2500.
It's 10 miles in. Aircraft will adjust itself for runway heading. Just like 60 knots. Cabin crew, seats for landing, please. Minimum approach speed, out on the paper as well. So it's 118 knots. It's 10. Force pilot disengage. Right, let's bring this in. You can see the flight path is slightly offset to the left of the runway. Get down. Start seat.
1000.
Gear down, 3 greens.
Dispatch altitude sets. Actually, yeah, 70 knot tailwind, so the winds have changed. 09 probably would have been a better one, but not the end of the world for us. Still within the maximum limitation, 737. It's a bit gusty, not problematic. Lights off, throttle off even.
Plus 100. Minimums.
And let's continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Glasses sets. 100 knots.
80 knots.
80 knots. 6 knots glasses cut. There you have it. Welcome to Djerba. Up, slide us down, and vacate runway to the left.
Gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 1:40 p.m. and it's currently about 22 degrees
Off.
Celsius. You can now use your mobile device.
APU starts.
Until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead.
Kia ora, Chrono.
Items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your
And
final
taxi to the
destination,
gates.
thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Not bad that. Not bad overall. So a little bit of a gusty landing. The winds have changed well into the approach, but at the end of the day, the 736 is a very nimble little aircraft, and we made it here with no real problems, no real delays. it was good. It was good. Visibility, you can see, not the greatest. It has certainly come back a little bit, the clear skies, but overall, really enjoyed that flight. Next under long. Yeah, not this man just randomly crosses another. Kill taxi lights, we're going to line the ground cruise. Let's hold position. Brake set. APU is available, generators set, leads on, and engines off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Djerba. Local time right now is approximately 20 to 1. Temperature is nice and warm. 21 degrees centigrade. Low visibility, very important at the moment. Thank you for flying with Tunisair. Hope you enjoyed your flight with us today, and we hope to see you again in the very near future. Cabin crew, this one does a project, please. Thank you for flying with us. That fuel truck definitely crashed into our plane with it. There you have it. There's our 736. Welcome to stand. We can kill the vision lights, strobe lights. That's fine. At this point, the aircraft will be turned around heading up to France again, this time to Marseille for its next leg. So yeah, we don't need shut down for that. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it really. There's no jet bridge, you can't move jet bridge because you don't have the SAM mod-lite stuff, but you can do if you wanted to. Maybe we can go up SAM and just look at the parking bits again. Can't actually do anything, it's all stuck in place. That's the way it goes. Deboarding complete. Thank you very much, cabin crew. So it's only 12 passengers, there's no real actual deboarding to do. Right, send the flight, after the report. So TU589, 736 from Lyon to Djerba. Flight time 2013 minutes. That's our next time on our current recording. 12 passengers, neutral flight, 74, really? 74%. I'm actually quite surprised by that, just because it's like behind schedule by 15 minutes. Other than that, not a bad flight by any means. I enjoyed it. And if you're in the real world, the 736 minute zone is enough to keep me very happy and excited. So yeah, I guess that really is the end of that. Yeah, I'm not sure why Volanta decided to be a bit funny, but it's just the way it goes, I guess. Right, so yeah, we'll dispatch matey very shortly. Before we do that though, let's see how our 732 friends doing. I think they're just landing at Tunis now. Yes, they're coming. But they can actually do the thing. I can't. I need to learn that. Also, we'll see Tesla 414 of the parts. Very nice. Yes, it's been a good day of flying there, that's our routing, so now to Lyon, nice and steady flight, had a bit of ATC out of South France, and into the central Tunisia. Right, let's disconnect from IVAO, and let's do ourselves a replay, shall we? Thank you for that, thank you for the service. No door represent nothing to do with the replay side of things. Stick it back a bit, and let's have this approach from passenger perspective. So we'll do it from our seat first. So jump back to behind the wings. Four rows down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this seat here. That's us. So yeah, we're a little bit low at one point for the approach, but at the end of the day we just basically pushed the throttle and pulled the nose back a bit, so we started reducing our rate of descent. Worked out well, perfect in the end. And so small adjustments, keep the aircraft steady. See the flaps not reacting as much to the throttle of this one, unlike the ES7800 where the flaps are shaking out like crazy. There you go, steady approaching. Into the airport and touchdown. And just the sound as well of the airplane as it idles the throttle and continues down the runway. Really love that sound. Right, let's do the same from the right hand side. That's what it is in front of the wing. So yeah, I'll mix things up a little bit before we play today. I'm going to mix things up. There we go. Nice and steady. Interesting spoiling the engine there, idling. That's a bit later than I normally do, but again, 211 feet per minute, can't actually give me the exact landing rate because again, Volanta decided to do its thing. Yeah, that was a more than fine flight. Do the same now for the. So I want to the final right hand turn now and see kind of how that looked as well from a passenger perspective, because that was certainly a bit. It's not tight, but she wasn't so bad. Nah, she more normal I thought it would have been. Fair enough, nothing special there. It's not the cleanest air in the world at the moment. If that's just haze, or if there's like a smog cloud, something like that. It's not for Tunisia though, surely not. There we go, short final in, keeping it off steady of the winds. Actually, that touchdown was pretty much perfect anyway. Sense line perfect. No, all things considered. There's nothing wrong with that landing. Can we do another? Should get ourselves a flyby view. There you go, kind of close to the close to the start of the runway. There you go. So short final in. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. that was really good actually. Yeah, I'll a bit shaking the approach, but overall really pleased with that landing. So yeah, like I said, that's the end of our flight. So that was Lyon to Tunis, Lyon to Djerba. And that was the Tunisair 737-600s. So now in real life, I am actually here in Djerba. Got a few hours to kill for making the connecting flight back up to Tunis at the ATR 72. As for a video, I need to figure out if I can get something ready for that or not. I need time dependence now, but so I'll see what I can do. I'll get back to you if I can or can't. Otherwise, yeah, that brings us to the end of our video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. Do follow me on social media if you want to kind of see what I'm doing out here in Tunisia. Then do follow me on Instagram especially. So we'll get a few posts out for that. Otherwise, yeah, I guess brings us to the end of our video today. Really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed this one. Alright, you take care of yourselves. Have a good one. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.